All right, this is part 3 of our review of quadratics. All right, my class has a test tomorrow, so that's why we're practicing. They want to say hi. Go ahead, say something, you guys.
Hey,
want.
Leo.
That was Leo.
Shout out to Messi, bro. Shout out to.
You already did one. All right, that's it. All right. So as you do these problems, make sure that you are not copying off of me, okay? Because when you take your test, you're going to have to do the problems by yourself. So do not do the problems along with me on your paper. Do them yourself later. Or, if you have to do them along with me, make sure you go back and redo them by yourself later. That's the only way to know that you know how to do them. All right, now remember, the main thing I need to emphasize to you guys with that test coming up tomorrow, with these inequalities, there are two completely different types of problems that look very similar. They're the ones that we do number lines and interval notation. And they're the ones that we color in like kindergarten. We do all that shading. Okay? Problem number 15. And Dimitri, this is like tapping into what you were asking me, so make sure you're listening to my words, okay? Yeah. Is this the one where I do like a number line, interval notation? Or is this the one where I color it in like kindergarten? This is the one where I do the number line, interval notation. How do I know the difference? There's no Y. There's no Y. Okay? It's only X's. When it's only X's, that's when we do a number line and we do interval notation. Okay? Let me see if I can scan. Number 17 as well, for example. No Y. Number line, interval notation. Let me keep going. Oh, look. Number 18, for example. See how number 18 has the Y in it? Yeah. That's how I know it's one of the ones that I color in. Either above or below the parabola. So pay attention to that. Please don't give me a number line when you should be shading. And don't shade when you should be doing a number line. Okay, so number 15. We've decided that this is definitely a number line problem because there is no Y in here. We've already got 0, so that's great. So let's go ahead and graph this parabola. Let's use the table feature of our TI-30XS multi-view. Get ready to read me this equation because I'm going to forget what it was.
X squared.
Wait, I'm not ready. Okay, so x squared
plus 2x minus 3.
Okay, so we put this in the calculator. Let's get to the table area. Now, scroll up until you get to a number that doesn't fit. Okay, 12. 12 is too big. The graph only goes 10 to negative 10. So that means negative 4, 5 is the first value that fits. So let's start there. Negative 4, 5. So let's plot that. Okay, so negative 4, 5 is right here. And let's just keep going. So then after that, it's 0. Okay, that was a big jump. Then after that, scroll. So it's negative 3, negative 4, negative 3. Okay, so negative 3, negative 4, negative 3. So I can already see it heading back up again. So I know it's going to be mirror images after that. So now it's going to be like here and here. So there's my parabola so far. Let's go ahead and draw this parabola. Okay, now for these number line type problems, it's all about highlighting. It's not about shading in anything. It's about highlighting parts of the parabola itself. Okay? And so if you have a highlighter pen, I suggest using it. All right? I'm going to use this green color as my highlighter. So, Leah, am I going to highlight the part of the parabola that is above or below the x-axis? Below, because this symbol right here is a less than sign. That tells me below the x-axis, below 0. So that means I'm going to come here and I'm going to highlight the part of the graph that's below the x-axis. Okay? Now, when I do my number line, all right, but what we need is a number line, because this is a number line type problem. Now, these endpoints, the endpoints are where it equals 0. Do I want to include those?
Yes.
No, this one it says just less than 0, not equal to. So I will show that the endpoints are not included by doing open circles here. Now, look at these green solutions. That highlighted part, those are my solutions. Are they between the two x-intercepts, or are they outside? They are between the two x-intercepts. They're in the middle. So that's why x value-wise, I will show by drawing this segment between. Okay? Now, the true answer, though, is the interval notation. How will I write these blue solutions here using interval notation? Go, Demetria.
Negative 3,
1.
Doesn't have to be bracket.
See how it's open circles? Open circles go with round parentheses, because both of those mean don't include the endpoints. Because the endpoints are equal to 0, and we only want less than 0. Okay, so that is the answer to problem number 15. Questions? Okay, number 16. Before we get started, what do I need to do extra on this one?
Subtract 5.
Yeah, gotta subtract that 5, guys. We need 0 on one side. So subtract 5 on both sides. So right away, that's going to give me negative x squared plus 4x minus 9 is greater than or equal to 0. All right, so for the rest of this problem, this is what I'm going to be using, what I highlighted in yellow. So you can forget about the other equation now, the other inequality. Okay? Is this going to be one of those problems where I shade and color like a kindergartner, or a number line problem? Number line, because there's no y, so stick to number line. All right, Isaac, head up, eyes open, buddy. Okay, so let's graph this. Put it in your calculator to get that table of values going. Get ready to read it to me, guys, because I forget. All right, read me the equation. Negative x squared plus 4x minus 9. Okay, right away I see all these numbers that don't fit. Okay, so the first one that fits is 0, negative 9. So that's where you'll begin. Okay, so 0, negative 9, that's right here. All right, and then I'll scroll. Okay, so I've got negative 6, negative 5, negative 6. So here's negative 6, and then negative 5, and then negative 6. So I can already see it heading back down. So I know the next one's going to be back at negative 9 again. Okay? So go ahead and just draw that parabola. Okay. So this one is weird, strange. The entire parabola is below the x-axis. So depending on the symbol, the answer is either going to be all real numbers, negative infinity to positive infinity, or the answer will be no solution. It's all or nothing on this one, okay? So I look at the symbol. Based on this symbol right here, do I want the part of the parabola that's above 0 or below 0? I want the part of the parabola that's above the x-axis, above 0. Now, what part of this parabola is above the x-axis? None of it. None of the parabola is above the x-axis. That's why there is no solution. Okay, there's nothing to highlight. No solution. Okay? All right, number 17. This one, we need 0 on one side. So before we actually do the problem, let's go ahead and add 2 to both sides to get it in the proper form. So that's going to make it be x minus 2 squared plus 3 is greater than 0. Okay, so from now on, this is the form that we're going to be using. All right, so you can forget about this down here. Just stick to the yellow. Okay, and so let's just put this in our calculator and get our table of values. Okay, so we have x minus 2, whoops. Let me try again. Okay, squared plus 3, thanks. Okay, so let's get to the table of values. All right, 12 will not fit. That means 0, 7 is the first value. 0, 7. So let's graph that. All right, so 0, 7 is right there. And after that, okay, we have 4, 3, 4. So this is 4, 3, 4. And I can see the pattern, how it's going down and back up again. So I know the next one's going to be right there. All right. Now, again, there are no y values. There's no y. So that tells me this is going to be a number line graph, not a coloring graph. So I can just go ahead and graph this. Okay. This one is a strange one because the entire parabola is above the x-axis. All right. When the whole parabola is on one side, it's either going to be no solution or it's going to be all solutions, negative infinity to positive infinity. So looking at this symbol right here, okay, we want to know what part of this parabola is above 0 because it says greater than 0. So what part of this parabola is above 0? Infinity, right? The whole thing, all of this parabola is above 0. So normally I highlight the solution part. But in this case, if I highlight the solution part, I'd be highlighting the entire thing. All of it is above 0. So that's why the interval is just going to be negative infinity to positive infinity. So that would be your answer to number 17. Number 18. This is one that has a Y on it. So this is one that we'll be shading in and coloring like we're in kindergarten. Okay? Again, we have to plot these points of the parabola. So let's go ahead and put this into the TI-30XS multi-view. And read me the equation, please.
X squared plus 4x minus 5. Oh.
Okay, I like to scroll up till I find numbers that don't fit. Wow, there's a lot of points fit on this. All right, so 16 doesn't fit. So my very first point then is going to be negative 6, 7. Okay, so negative 6, 7 is my very first point. Then after that is 0, negative 5. So 0, negative 5. Okay, and then after that, it's negative 8, negative 9, negative 8. So negative 8, negative 9, and negative 8. Once I see it starting to go back up again, then I know it's going to do the mirror image after that. Okay, a lot of points we had that time. Okay, so go ahead and draw that parabola. Wait, on these ones where we color, we have to pay attention to dotted or solid when we draw it. This is going to be a dotted line because, like an open circle, when it's just greater than, we put dotted. If it was greater than or equal to, we would do solid. So I need to be careful to graph this as a dotted line. Okay, this is hard to do on a computer. Okay, make sure you do it as a dotted line, my people. Okay, now it's time for all that coloring we do. It's all about this symbol, you guys. This symbol, read me what this symbol says. It says greater than. Does that suggest to you above or below?
Above.
Of course, greater is above. So I recommend to you focusing on the vertex. Put your eyes and pencil on the vertex, and then go directly above the vertex. I think we'll all agree that this spot right here is above the vertex, and you see that that's within the parabola. So once you shade in that first little splotch, that's above the vertex, then that tells you, okay, yay, this is the part I shade then. If it had been below, I would have shaded the other part. But don't focus on inside, outside. Don't assume above is always inside, because it's not. You got to take it one problem at a time. Okay? Or you could have used the test value method. Okay? So there you go. We have that. And that's it. The solution is just a graph. So that's it. There's no interval notation. Okay? And number 19. Okay? So once again, put this into your calculator and get your table of values. All right? You ready to read it to me?
Yup.
All right. Okay, what was it? Negative,
Negative,
parentheses,
x plus 1, parentheses, greater, minus 1.
like that. Okay, once again. All right, so -4 and -10 is the first point that's going to fit. So graph that, -4, -10. That's going to be right here. After that, it's -5, -2. Okay, so -5, -2. After that, it's -1, -2, -5. So -1, -2, -5. I see what's happening now, mirror image wise, so I know the next one's going to be here. Now, this is a coloring one again. I can tell because it's got the Y in there. Is this going to be dotted or solid this time?
Solid.
Solid because of the or equal to part of it.
Solid.
So go ahead and draw it solid this time.
Mr. Rim,
Yes,
does that have to do with, because on number 15, you didn't do that.
I did. Oh, no, wait, hold on. And now it's time for the coloring. Once again, look at the symbol. Y is less than or equal to everything else. Okay? Is this going to be above or below, people? Below. This one is below because it's less than or equal to. So I go to the vertex and I go below it. That's going to put me right here. Once again, it just so happens that this is once again inside. So I go ahead and shade inside. All right? If it had been above, I would have shaded the outside. All right? And that's it for number 19. It's just a picture. All right. Let's go ahead and stop this video here because the next video we're going into word problems. It's a whole different thing. So let's go ahead and stop this video here.